Hey Canucks fans, big game tonight. The Vancouver Canucks hosting the Edmonton Oilers, playing for the first time this regular season since their epic 7-game playoff series last spring. I'm going to be at the game. If you are at the game and you want to say a quick hello, have a quick chat about our favorite hockey team, first intermission outside of section 316, the Legends locker room display. I will go there. I'll bring my wife Gail, who I'm bringing to the game. And if you guys want to come and chat and meet and hang out for a few minutes, be happy to meet you. So again, outside of section 316 during the first intermission if you're at tonight's game. So let's look at how the Vancouver Canucks are going to line up tonight. And a lot of uncertainty in this lineup. Dakota Joshua, when is he coming back? Brock Boeser, how long will he be out? Daniel Sprong, not part of this team anymore. So there's at least 2 roster spots, Boeser's and Sprong's, that they would have to kind of fill for tonight. And this is how they practiced just a couple of hours ago. The first line was JT Miller, and with new line mates, no DeBrusk and no Boeser. So it's Miller between Garland and Suter. So you can kind of think of it as Miller took Petey's place. So Miller between Garland and Suter on the top line. Pettersson reunited with DeBrusk, who's going to play on the right wing. So a left shot on the right wing. And then Nils Hoglander will join them. So there's our top 6 for tonight. It is Miller with Suter and Garland, and then Pettersson with DeBrusk and Hoglander. Surprised they just didn't keep PD, Suter, and Garland together, and then you go Miller, DeBrusk together, and then basically you're just bringing in Hoglander for Boeser. But for whatever reason, they're not going to go with that. And then third line, thankfully they're not touching that. Bluger, Sherwood, and Heinen. And then a fourth line. This fourth line concerns me a little bit, and we'll talk about why it looks like this. It's Aatu Ratu between Niels Amon and Arshdeep Bains. Yes, the powerful combination of Ratu, Amon, and Bains. Then your deep pairings are, no surprise, Hughes Hronik, Susie Myers, Eric Brandstrom, and Desharnais. So that means your extras are Dakota Joshua up front. Your extra defenseman is Noah Juleson because Derek Forbort is hurt right now. And then all 3 goalies practiced today, which is good. I'll get to Demko in a second. But Lankinen will be the starter once again. Okay, so there's a lot to get to. So when you look at these you take the 3 forwards in question. Daniel Sprong is the easy one. Traded, not part of this team anymore. He was the right wing on the 4th line. Brock Boeser, we're still waiting to hear about his how bad the severity of his injury. Patrick Allvin. So I'm going to kind of intersperse some Patrick Allvin news because it all affects everything. So Patrick Allvin spoke to the media, and when he talked about Brock Boeser, he said that he's still being evaluated for an upper body injury and he won't play tonight. So not surprised he's not playing tonight. Rumor is he has a concussion, which would make sense given the dirty hit by Tanner Jeannot, who got suspended for 3 games. I vlogged about that yesterday. And so we knew that Boeser wasn't going to play tonight. We just didn't know who was going to fill in his spot. And then Dakota Joshua, who's been practicing with a bit more frequency, he is not going to play tonight. And Patrick Allvin said he's hopeful that Joshua can play on this homestand. So I maybe jumped the gun. I thought maybe he'd get in a game in California. Then I thought maybe for sure tonight against the Oilers. But now Patrick Allvin is saying hopeful that Joshua can play on this homestand. This homestand, you guys, is 6 games long, 2 weeks. So maybe they're pushing Joshua's return out a little bit farther, which is fine. The team, he'll be a great addition, but the team technically hasn't needed him. And obviously, we want him at full strength. The same things that we can say about Thatcher Demko. Speaking of which, there's no timeline for Thatcher Demko, so that was an easy one. No timeline for Thatcher Demko. And although he practiced with the team today, which is really good. And the last thing that Allvin talked about was Jonathan Lekkerimäki. Would he have been an option? Because to me, he was kind of the most natural call-up, the fill-in for Brock Boeser. Just slide him in on, although it is first line minutes, slide him in on the right side on the first line. But he is actually nicked up a little bit. He tweaked something, and he won't even play in Abbotsford tonight. So if he was healthy, Allvin did say that he would have been an option to get called up, but instead the Canucks called up Niels Amon and Arshdeep Bains. And both of them are playing. So think of Bains and Amon in for Sprong and Boeser. So all things being equal, that's not a good trade, right? You'd much rather have Boeser and Sprong in the lineup, which they did up until a couple days ago, instead of Amon and Bains. But it is what it is, as a former power forward for the Vancouver Canucks used to say. So that's why we have lines like like we have tonight. So let's look at the lines one more time because I like looking at these kind of things, and obviously it's the most important element of the game tonight, the personnel and who plays with who. So again, last game it started off Miller, Boeser, and DeBrusk, and then Pettersson, Suter, and Garland. But then as soon as Brock got hurt in the first half of the first period, they had to start adjusting already. So yeah, like I said, you could have kept Pettersson with Garland and Suter, and then you could have kept Miller with DeBrusk, and then you could put Hoglander on that line. That was probably the easiest fill-in. But for whatever reason, Rick Tocchet either didn't think of that combination or likes it better with Pettersson with DeBrusk and Hoglander, and then Miller with Garland and Suter. Now, Pettersson with DeBrusk and Hoglander, I don't mind. Pettersson and Hoglander played a lot together last year, and they're keeping Hoglander on the left, and they're moving DeBrusk over to the right. Remember, Pettersson started the season with DeBrusk and Sprong. It didn't work out so well. I kind of touched on that in my video from yesterday. So I'm really interested to see how this line looks tonight. Pettersson, DeBrusk, and Hoglander. I have a feeling it's going to be feast or famine. They're either going to play really well. DeBrusk might score for his fourth straight game, or they might be completely invisible. Really interested to see how Miller and Garland play together. They've obviously done a little bit of that during their tenure as Canucks, but not a lot. And then Suter has played with Miller as well, and he's been playing the last few games with Garland. So interesting top six. Not the way I would have lined it up, but I'm certainly willing to trust Rick Tocchet and his coaching staff. Then, of course, our third line of Bluger, Sherwood, and Heinen. Love what they're doing. Love everything that they do. And then our fourth line here of Ratu between Baines and Oman. So we'll call this the call-up line because Atu Ratu was called up for the last game against LA just recently. And that was when they moved Suter up to the wing and they brought Ratu up. And that was when Joshua wasn't ready yet. And then Baines and Oman were just recalled today. So there's, we'll call them the recall line. And again, Oman and Baines are playing because Boeser is hurt and Sprong is no longer with the team. For the Oilers, I guess from a fan's perspective, it's great that McDavid's playing. It obviously makes it a little tougher to beat them, but the Canucks are a more complete team than the Oilers right now. I'd say the forwards are comparable. I give both teams are kind of set up the same way. They both have kind of good top lines, Bouchard and Ekholm for Edmonton, and then of course Hughes and Hronek for Vancouver. And then it drops off quite quickly on both teams. But then obviously I think the Canucks have a massive advantage over the Edmonton Oilers in terms of goaltending. It's basically Kevin Lankin versus Stuart Skinner. So I really like the fact that I think the Canucks will match up well tonight. So because I got my 4-2 score prediction correct in the last game against LA, I can no longer use that as a crutch. And now I actually have to make actual thoughtful predictions. Although, I'm not saying that I wasn't thoughtful before, but you know my shtick. So I said this at the end of Thursday night's game when I realized I was caught and I have to do new ones. I'm going 5-2 Canucks. I'm going to expand it. I'm not going to contract it. I'm going to expand it. I think the Canucks are a better team. I think their goaltending is much better. I think the fans are going to feel them. I'm not sure how much that fourth line is going to play, but let's go 5-2 Canucks. And I'm going to say Jake DeBrusk scores the first goal for the Vancouver Canucks and continues his hot streak. This would make it goals in 4 straight games. So what says you? What is your score prediction? And who do you think is going to score the first Canucks goal? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you're at the game tonight, come say hi to Gail and me. First intermission outside of section 316. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Andrew Chang, and to Hall of Fame and franchise members. And thanks to all of you for your support, all members for their support. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. On your way out, subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership, and definitely give me your score prediction and first Canucks goal scorer. I'm going 5-2 Canucks with Jake DeBrusk scoring the first goal of the game for the good guys. Hope to see some of you tonight at the game. First intermission outside of section 316. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.